Good morning. This is Motivational Mornings with me, Dr. Marcea. Today's message is to wear your PJs. So as this is the start of the new year for, at least in my area, I know some other school systems have gone back to school before today. But I wanted to share that this is, new beginnings. This is the newness of the weather's changing, the new school year, all of the things that are new. And a lot of times we are jumping out trying to get somewhere, but we haven't done the basics, the things that are going to get you to that next level. And so I call it grounding. Okay, the things that I do is that I put on my PJs. And what that stands for, the P stands for prayer, the J stands for journaling, and the S stands for scripture. Now I have to say there are a fair number of days that I forget. And when I do forget, I end up getting into a weird kind of space where I have no focus. I don't know what I'm doing. There's a string of days that go by and I haven't handled the things that I said I was going to handle. I let my time squander, and I found myself feeling overwhelmed because now I'm tight on deadlines, or there were some things that weren't actually flushed out. And so the journaling process for me is something that helps me in so many different ways. That's the J. And then the scripture is reading scripture. Now, I don't do them in this order necessarily, but I try to make sure I get it in. And so I want to share with you today, I want to encourage you that whatever your grounding is, right? It doesn't have to be mine, okay? Whatever your grounding is, that is a key piece to moving through and getting to your greatness. Okay, so I know some may have. The first thing is to decide what your grounding is, right? Some people will pray. Some people like water. They like to go on the ocean, whatever. Some people like to call a friend. Some people like music. They like to dance. Whatever that thing is, identify what is yours. Okay. What I want to share with you today is what the journaling does for me. Okay, so the first thing that the journaling does, when it helps me get clear with my thought. Okay, I get clear with my thought. A lot of times we're walking through life and things are happening around us, but we don't have the awareness or the consciousness that, this really is bothering me. But it stays in the back of our head, and we are moving through life, I'm going to say maybe numb or with conflict inside of us. Those days when you're like, something just doesn't feel right, or I don't feel, something's off today. It's because there's a thought, an event, something that's hiding out in your brain that needs to be addressed. When I now get ready to write it down, I now give myself clarity of what my thought really is, and I get honest with myself. Okay, so the first thing is that you get clear thought. The second thing is that you now clear your mind. Okay, it's kind of like having a to-do list, and it seems like it's 100 things that you have to do. But if you were just to stop and write them down, it's really probably only 6 or 7, right? Maybe 10 at the most. So once we get it out on paper, now we have one clarity of what they are, but also now your brain isn't trying to keep up with all of the things, and there's that fear of missing something. Okay, so that one is clears your mind. The third thing is that journaling helps to clear the pathway. Okay, it clears the path for you to implement what it is that you've been trying to do. Okay, it's so vitally important to get the game plan. And now that you have it, because not only when you start writing it down, now you start getting ideas that start to drop. And you're like, oh yeah, that's how I can do that. And it never fails. And now it makes me like silly. Like, why don't I do this all the time? But I do it enough that I'm able to move through and get there. But one of the things as I go into this new season of my life, I'm going to make sure I do it every day, and I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I'll say it out loud. I may check. I'm going to also do it towards the end of the day as well, just to make sure I have a cap, so I can kind of tell what I said I was going to do, what I actually did, and then I can make a plan for the next day. Okay, so we're getting clarity in this season. Wear your PJs and figure out what your grounding looks like, and now go implement. Okay, so have an amazing week. I will see you next time here on Motivational Mornings with Dr. Marcea. Take care.